Hi everyone, I'm Ollie from GG Recon, and today we are here to discuss the top 10 GameCube games which need to be ported onto the Nintendo Switch. It was the 20th anniversary of the GameCube this week, so there's not been a better time to get this discussion going. The GameCube was a console that was overlooked by a lot of people. It was sandwiched between the Nintendo 64 and the Nintendo Wii, but arguably it had a higher ratio of great games than the other two consoles. Nintendo were in the process of bringing back loads of classic games to the Nintendo Switch, so here are 10 classic GameCube games that need to be brought over. In at 10 is F-Zero GX. The turbo-paced world of F-Zero has laid dormant for so long now that a whole new generation of gamers probably aren't even aware of the existence of the series. Captain Falcon is only really kept alive and relevant thanks to his appearances in Smash Bros. F-Zero GX took racing to a whole new level and pushed the boundaries of truly how fast you can go in a racing game. The speed of the game may have put a few people off, but there is no doubt there is a space wide open on the Switch for a racing game like this. The Switch's racing market is dominated by Mario Kart alone in the grand scheme, so it's about time the Captain returned and rivaled Mario outside of the Smash Bros arena. At number 9, we have Eternal Darkness: Sanity's Requiem. This game was a beautiful blend of both psychological horror and survival horror. It felt unique in its approach to horror. The historical era-hopping settings were perfect for the time, and it was able to push the GameCube to its limits graphically. Some were put off by the more fantasy approach to the horror elements, with mechanics like spellcasting getting a grumble from them more hardcore horror fans. But the sanity effects and narrative-driven story was enough to win over the doubters and make the game an instant classic. In at 8, it's Pikmin 2. Yeah, we know Pikmin 3 was released on the Switch, but Pikmin 2 was the perfect way to experience the wonderful world that is Pikmin in our eyes. This was the first game in the series that introduced co-op, as well as a number of other fun game modes. The worlds were larger to explore, the monsters were vast, and the Pikmin were plentiful. While Pikmin 3 was a very enjoyable experience, Pikmin 2 just felt so much more complete, and overall a much more enjoyable experience. After the success of Pikmin 3 on the Switch, why not bring Pikmin 2 over as well? At number 7 is Beautiful Joe. Why this game has not been touched on the Switch yet is beyond us. This game had one of the best art styles ever seen in gaming, and continues to look gorgeous to this day. We've not heard from the world of Joe for a very long time, and this is so disappointing. The art style, mixed with the brilliant combat mechanics, would be perfect for the Switch. Combine this with the fact that Joe is crying out to be added to the Smash Bros universe, and you have the perfect reason as to why Beautiful Joe should be brought home to the Switch. In at 6 is SSX Tricky. Sporting games that go beyond the obvious mainstream titles are few and far between on the Nintendo Switch. SSX Tricky is the perfect way to expand that repertoire and add some much needed arcade style action to the genre. The game never focused on being serious, it was just downslope fun with some brilliant comedy mixed in. The game turns 20 this year as well, so there's never been a better time to bring the series back. In at 5, it's Beyond Good and Evil. Do you remember that new Beyond Good and Evil game that was meant to happen? Yeah, we don't either. So why not bring back the classic version to appease the fans while they wait for the new one to appear from the abyss? This game takes exploration to a whole new level. The gameplay is fantastic, and the world-building atmosphere is one that still stands head and above some modern-day games. Let's keep our fingers crossed for a Switch port. In at 4, it's Simpsons Hit and Run. What more can you say about this game that has not already been said? It's a masterpiece, and a prime example of nostalgia that will live in the memory of those who played it for years to come. Is it still dated? Not at all. The game still holds up nicely when played now. Do we need Simpsons Hit and Run 2 though? Maybe, but with the way the show's script writing has gone, I absolutely would not like that translated into a game that could actually ruin the legacy of the original. Either remake the original with the same script or port the original onto the Switch. At number 3, it's Metroid Prime. That next Metroid game just seems like it's never gonna happen, does it? Metroid Prime was an absolute masterpiece. Although there has been an entry into the Metroid series already on the Nintendo Switch, it's about time we saw a 3D adventure on there. Fans are hungry for more Samus content after the success of Metroid Dread, so why not bring back this iconic classic? The story's already there, so a port should not be overly problematic. It will certainly fill the void before Metroid 4 is released in probably around 10 years time at this rate. Number 2. Soul Calibur 2. The Switch is missing a really good arcade style beat 'em up game, and Soul Calibur is the perfect way to fill that absence. The series is iconic and so well known on the Nintendo system that it just makes sense to bring the game back to the Switch. Plus, the original version of Soul Calibur 2, which was on the GameCube, had Link from Legend of Zelda in it as a playable character. That is the best Nintendo combination ever. And at number 1, it's The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. This game was a controversial release at the time, believe it or not. Very few people believed in the cel-shaded style for young Link, but after they played the game, it became an all-time classic. The game was massive for the time and would be incredible to play on the go. Nintendo are in full steam ahead mode creating Breath of the Wild 2 at the moment, but with the core mechanics already there, a port of The Wind Waker should absolutely be something they should explore. Skyward Sword showed exactly why ports of older games can work, so why not take the plunge? Thank you for watching our countdown of the top 10 GameCube games that need to be added to the Nintendo Switch. Can you think of any others that need to be added? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for loads more weekly gaming content.